Check, check, mic check.
Yep, we got sound.
How are we doing, Pete? I think Pete's good.
All right.
Pete Tanner's always good.
Of course he is, because he's Pete.
He's Pete. Let's just randomly say his name during services for the next hour. Yes. Oh wait. In terms of what I wore on yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, when I was in Israel, I bought this and his, and they're the same talis, but different colors. And so then when Chai's bar mitzvah, I'm going to get him one in blue, it'll be nice. So.
And then Benji gets nothing?
No, Benji, 10 years. I don't know if you're scared of colors yet. I'm telling you. You're causing trouble already.
I'm protecting Benji right now.
Yeah, oh yeah, we need protection from Benji. Okay. Focus. There we go. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Welcome to Temple B'nai Israel. Great to see everyone here this evening. We got people sort of all around the congregation. That's nice. Got to turn my head a bit today. And of course, a wave to our folks at home, especially a couple of people I know who are recovering from different things. So it's great to have you joining us online. Hope to see you back on your feet and back in the synagogue when we all feel better. Let's all turn to our neighbors and say Shabbat Shalom, Good Shabbos, Guten Shabbos.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. See all the way around the synagogue. I'm telling you, I got to turn all the way around. Shabbos Kodesh, as we used to say in Brooklyn. We did. With all of that said, on page 128, or of course, I'm sure so many of you know the words by heart, the words of welcome, of praise, of being together, Hine ma tov.
Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yahad. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yahad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yahad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yahad. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yahad. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yahad.
Let's turn to page 120 and 121. Kabbalat Panim. God says, let there be light, and there was light, and God said it was good. Welcome Shabbat with the light of creation. We call to come forward Denise Kirschbaum and Linda White for candles and Kiddush. Let's rise together. I remembered this week to have everyone rise. There is no microphone. There is a microphone somewhere. People touching my stuff. I'm not embarrassed. Neither of these are the right one. Hopefully this will work at least. Check, check, check.
There we go. Hey.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who beholds us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, vitzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu, lehadlik ner, shel Shabbat.
Vayhi erev vayhi boker yom hashishi. The heaven and the earth were finished and all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing, and God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kadsho, be'ahava uvratzon, hin hilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom tehila, l'mikra'e kodesh, zecher l'tziat mitzrayim, ki vanu vaharta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol hamim, v'shabbat kodshecha, be'ahava uvratzon, hin haltanu, baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh hashabbat, amen. L'chaim.
Please be seated. I'm sorry, I was staring at the cup because it's the bar mitzvah cup, and I was worried it was mine. Or Ari's, better said, but it is not. My eyes aren't that good, but I think it says Pendatnik.
The Tindatniks?
Yeah, I want to say, yeah. Isaiah?
Isaac.
Isaac. Yes, that's 2016. So for you all watching, we had your Kiddush cup.
They were twins, so they have one.
Ah, okay. You have one, you have them all. I think the reason, generally speaking, that I forget to ask for a please rise for candlelighting is because there's no halachic injunction to rise for candlelighting. For Kiddush, you rise, because that's Kiddush, that's a Kedusha. So that's why. I felt I needed to say it.
Do you feel better now?
Yes,
Okay.
very much. I feel better now.
Continuing
It's
on.
a weight off my shoulders. It's going to be one of those nights. Let's turn to page 127. Let's continue responsively. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. Together?
On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share.
There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted.
On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation.
There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others.
On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal.
So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. Let's turn to page 138 and 139 for the singing of Lecha Dodi. We'll be singing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And on the final verse, we'll rise together and face the door to symbolically greet the Sabbath bride.
Bum-ba-dum, bum-ba-ha, lecha dodi, likrat, likrat, kala, pene, pene, Shabbat, nekabala, Woo! Lacha lacha do di likrat kala. Pene pene Shabbat nikaba la 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 lacha lacha do di likrat kala. Pene pene Shabbat nikaba la. Woo! Lacha lacha do di likrat kala. Shme pene Shabbat nikaba la. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad. Hishmi anu el hamichad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad. L'shem ultifaret v'lit hilal la 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 l'cha l'cha dodi. Likrat kala. Pene pene Shabbat nekabala. Woo! L'cha l'cha dodi. Likrat kala. Pene pene Shabbat nekabala. Likrat Shabbat lichu v'nilcha. Ki michor habaracha. Merosh mikdem nisucha. Sof masah b'sef l'chad l'cha la 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 l'cha l'cha dodi. Likrat kala. Pene pene Shabbat nekabala. Woo! L'cha l'cha dodi. Likrat kala. Pene pene Shabbat nekabala. He toriri, kiva ore kumi uri, shir daberi, kavod Adonai alik nikla la 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 l'cha dodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat nikabala, woo, l'cha dodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat nikabala. Boi v'shalom atere bala, gam b'simcha u'tzohala, toch emune am segula, boi chala, la 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 l'cha dodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat nikabala, woo, l'cha dodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat nikabala, la 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 l'cha dodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat nikabala, woo, l'cha dodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat nikabala.
Please be seated. So it turns out if you leave a glass of grape juice in the podium over a week in an unair-conditioned sanctuary, it begins to grow new grape juice. One of those nights. We're on page 145. Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer in the mystery of a withered leaf, unripened fruit so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Together,
teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days. Lest my day be today as the one before, lest routine set my ways.
On page 146, let's rise together for the Baruch Hu, our call to worship.
Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai. Baruch Hu et Adonai hamivorach. Baruch Adonai hamivorach. Leolam vaed. Leolam vaed. Yalla lai lai lai. Yalla lai lai lai. Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai.
We're on page 149 in the middle of the page. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Together, this is the hour of change.
And within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over?
Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Top of page 151. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too, together? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. On the next page, we join together with the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated. Let's turn to page 154 as we join together with the V'ahavta.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shiftecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'aderech uv'shachbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkaru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim Elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti ethem me'eretz Mitzrayim lehiyot lachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
Amen. Let's turn to page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, together, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. On the next page, ready for Passover, Micha Mocha.
Yai lai lai la lai la 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 lai 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 la lai la lai la lai 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 la lai la 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 lai lai la lai 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 la 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 lai. Micha mocha ba elim Adonai, Micha mocha nedar b'kodesh, Norah tehilot osefele, Norah tehilot osefele. Malachutecha ra'u vanecha, Bokei ayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Ze eli anu ve'amru, Ze eli anu ve'amru. Adonai yimloch leolam vad. Adonai yimloch leolam vad. Yai lai lai la lai la 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 lai 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 la lai la 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 lai. Ya lai la lai la lai la lai la 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 lai. Ya la lai la 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 lai.
It is the Shabbat before Passover. And this Shabbat has a special name. Does anyone know what this Shabbat is called, traditionally speaking, one of the major Shabbatot of the year? No points for Gryffindor this evening. Shabbat Hagadol. It is the great Shabbat, the big Shabbat before Passover as we get ready to exodus from Egypt. Look, they're exodusing. They are leaving. So yes, that's why it is a special Shabbat right before Pesach. Everyone get their Passover shopping done yet? Almost. Where can I get like a nice big hunk of horseradish? Like not the canned stuff. Nowhere.
Amazon?
Fresh Market. Yeah. I'll take it. That's what I like. I like those big, literally, yeah, I think I've done that. 15 pounds of matzah in the house. It'll last 4 days. I'm gonna have to buy more. Yeah, the kids go through it like it's like woodchuck, and just power it down. And that doesn't count the shmur matzah too. It's in the house too. What's everyone's favorite like matzah topping? Matzah topping. People like tuna fish on matzah. I'm a tuna fish person on matzah. Egg salad, matzah pizza.
Matzah pizza.
Okay, that's something. Ketchup. That's
always-
disgusting. Okay.
There's always a classic butter, matzah and butter.
All together, or all together or separate? Oh. We had jelly and butter and cream cheese back there. Sort of old school, which is fine because I'm old school too with the tuna and the egg salad. Well, that's a whole nother creation, the matzah brai.
My kid was a peanut butter and jelly on matzah.
Peanut butter and jelly on matzah. Kremsel? Like a what? Matzah pancake. Yeah, because Nutella on matzah.
That's fair.
Yeah, we're a Nutella household. French fries on matzah? Thank you, Benji. French fries on matzah. Brisket, meatloaf, a lot of good stuff you can put on matzah. No, see, that's the whole thing, is that I didn't grow up with rice because my father was very, hardcore Ashkenazic, no kitten yot from the conservative movement. And my mother, she hated it so much because my mother's a rice person, because we're Puerto Rican, so it's like she needs the rice and the beans. And so finally when the conservative movement said you can have kitten yot, but even then now, they're still a little iffy. I'm all about it. I'm having the rice. That's fine. Yeah. I guess I don't dive into it as much, but I also don't shy away the same way because it was the soybean that was killing me too. Because I use soy sauce for stuff, and you can't use that for Passover. Yeah, what's up, Benji?
How about red sauce with matzah and goldfish with matzah?
Red sauce with matzah and goldfish with matzah. Well, you can't have the goldfish, I think. Yeah, because the soybean is a kitniot. That's why for the soy. Yeah,
The soybeans are still new?
No, I'm fine with it. I'm ahead.
just curious.
Yeah, once the reform and conservative movement kashered it, I'm good to go. I'm not standing on ceremony. I'm okay. I'm okay. A little arroz con pollo for Passover, I'll live with it. Okay.
Just keeping.
Let's turn to page 160 for Hashkivenu. Me?
Yeah, that's
cool.
you.
Okay, 161 for Hashkivenu. I got thrown off. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Together, Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. On page 162, let's join together with Vishamru.
Vishamru, V'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat. Woo! Lasot et HaShabbat lidorotam berit olam v'shamru. V'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat. Woo! Lasot et HaShabbat lidorotam berit olam. Berit olam. B'nei B'nei Yisrael, Oti leolam, Oti leolam, Vishamru, B'nei Yisrael, et HaShabbat, woo, lasot, et HaShabbat, lidorotam berit olam, Vishamru, V'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, woo, lasot et HaShabbat lidorotam berit olam. Ki sheshe yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, woo, lasot et HaShabbat lidorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, woo, lasot et HaShabbat lidorotam berit olam.
Okay, let's now turn to page 165. Pray as if everything depended on God. Act as if everything depended on you. Let's rise together, page 164 for the Amidah HaTefilah through page 170.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufia gita hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Velohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Velohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Velohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Hasdei Avot V'Imaot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'nehem, L'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Michaye HaKol atah Rav Lechoshia, Mashiv Harua, Umorid Hagashem, Michakel Chayim Bechesed, Michaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'rofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayim emunato lishenei afar michamocha ba'el givurot umido melach melech memid umechaye umatzmiya Yeshua v'ne'eman atah l'chachayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai Michaye HaKol. Atah Kadosh v'Shimcha Kadosh, Ukdoshim b'chal yom Yahalilu Lasela. Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh.
Please be seated. Let's turn to page 173 at the very bottom of the page. The meaning of Shabbat is to celebrate time rather than space. 6 days a week, we live under the tyranny of things in space. On Shabbat, we try to become attuned to the holiness of time. It is a day on which we are called upon to share in what is eternal in time, to turn from the results of creation to the mystery of creation, from the world of creation to the creation of the world. We're on page 175. Ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer. Wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands, you are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha ba'ira na'avod. On page 177. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, together, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth, which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. On page 179, grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Together, bless our country as a safeguard of peace,
its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace.
Baruch atah Adonai, hamivorech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. So Passover's coming up, as I've noted. Which one of the 10 plagues is your favorite? What's like the plague that stands out to you? Anyone that just feels particularly interesting when you see it?
Frogs,
Frogs. Why frogs?
because they're cute.
They're cute.
Frogs.
Fair enough.
Cute.
There's a lot of frogs everywhere. Yeah, R, what's up? What do you think? Wild beasts, just tearing up the joint. Chai. Frogs again, because the frogs jump everywhere. There we go, some frogs are jumping. Yep. Darkness. Ooh, darkness is a scary one,
Yeah,
but yeah. The boils everywhere. It's a rough go. Yeah, David.
Yeah, I think actually the 10th one is the way an emphasis on Passover because that motivated Pharaoh. I mean, to free the slaves.
Yep, that had the most resonance, right?
Celebrates Passover, the main one.
Yep, death of the firstborn. My favorite always was the hail. The hail was my favorite because the hail was ice, and then when it hits the ground, it bursts into flames. And so it was God transforming the laws of nature as God does throughout the plagues, but that was one of the ones that was more like, even more miraculous, yeah?
Okay, so where do we get ice in Egypt?
Exactly.
God makes
Hence
ice.
the miracle, right? Hence the miracle. I don't think it snows in Egypt very much, I near as I could figure. But I also don't think that it also rains down tons of frogs either, to be fair. But yeah. Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, there was hail. It's like sort of comes down like icy and then fiery and then it burns and like I saw that in the movie. It was in the Charlton Heston movie, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Special effects are important. CGI. That's a little feedback on that mic there. Okay. Midrash, yeah, no, I have to look at it because I do think that It is in the Torah, but I have to double check. Say again? Cecil B. DeMille had it, in it.
It must be.
Must be. So it shall be written.
So it is done.
Thank you. Very nice. Okay, on a more serious note, is anyone hearing that feedback but me? The mic's a little off? A little bit? Okay, just me. A little bit, okay. Let's turn to page 371 as our thoughts turn to those who are in need of healing. Whether they are in need of physical, mental, or spiritual healing, we take them into our hearts this time of prayer. Let's join together in the middle of the page. Misha Berach.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mikor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
We're thinking of at this time and wishing a complete healing of body, mind, and spirit to Pat Adamson, Raymond Douglas Alcorn, Aidan John Ashley, Marty Bilo, Joe Brickman, Frankie Clement, Evan Bin, Ann Cole, Mark Edelstein, Mickey Edelstein, Benjamin Edelstein, and Brian Edelstein, Danielle Heyman Feist, Eric Fisk, Philip Gelman, Bob Gold and Carolyn Gold, Jennifer Gousset, Barbara Green and Buddy Green, Marvin Hollander, Lori Cattleman, Stuart J., Hank Corin, Wendy Sugarman Krosnoff, Robert Jaffe, Michael Lynch, Dolores Munsick, Ruth Poehler, Lee Siegel, Stacy Siegel, Dr. Cindy Steinman, Fred Truax, Pete Tanner, Cheryl Mattis, and Elsa Mikosh. Anyone else thinking of somebody I'd like to wish a Misha B'Erach, a complete healing of body, mind, and spirit? You can speak their name.
Deborah Ford. Yeah. Cindy Altner, Ragnar Altner, Amanda Ford, Chrissy Lane, Tammy Chow, Fred Mayer, and Steve Lichtenthal.
Mm-hmm. Taking these names into our hearts with all of those we're thinking about here and at home, we continue as we pray.
Misha Berach Imotenu Mikor HaBracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Let's continue with a moment of silent prayer and reflection, Tefillat Halev, the prayer of the heart.
Eli, Eli, Shelo Yegomer Leolam. Hakol v'hayam rishru shel hamayim berach hashamayim tefilat Adam Hakol v'hayam Rishru shel hamayim berach hashamayim tefilat Adam. Sure.
If you were an item on the Passover Seder plate, which would you be? So what are the items on the Passover plate to begin with? We got the matzah's on the side. So matzah has its own plate because it's very special. Maror, the horseradish, the egg, beitzah, the bone, zaroa, shank bone, karpas, the parsley, charoset, and the other leafy green vegetable, which I've never frankly understood. I'm a rabbi and I've never understood that's the purpose of the second one, the second less bitter herb. You get like a romaine lettuce or something, that it's less bitter, and I think you use that for the Hillel sandwich if you'd like, or other things. But I'm a horseradish guy. Have the root, that sixth space, So symbolically, which one do you like? Which represents you as a person, your core, your soul. Charoset.
Kind of sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Helps keep things together. Kind of describes me a little bit.
I like that. And I'd agree. I think that's very nice. I'm the maror. You're the maror. Embittered. And yeah, really. Hard-boiled egg? Why do you want hard-boiled egg? We're yummy on the inside. Would you like to do stuff inside of us? Okay, that's very interesting. I like that answer. Yeah. The egg representing life and spirit and energy, and I see a lot of life, spirit, and energy over there. Yep. Springtime, right? Spring. Yeah, I agree. Roasted being very sweet. You get. Yeah, so the charoset in the Ashkenazic tradition, it's the apples, the nuts, and mixed with usually a sweet red wine or grape juice.
Yeah, I see myself as kind of that because I'm a hard worker. I mean, I can imagine like the bricks that we built in Egypt.
I like that.
I'm a real hard worker.
A hard worker represents that hard work. I like that. That's a really great answer. That's a really good answer. No, I like that. No one is the shank bone.
My shank bone is like 1,000,000 years old because I put it in the freezer again. And I use the same shank bone. But I put it in the oven. I mean, I roast it every year.
Yeah.
Can we borrow it? Borrow your shank bone?
Sandy's on the hunt for a shank bone for second night Seder. Yeah. I mean, I think if you do go to a butcher, they can give you one.
Even at Joel's, sometimes they thin out, or if you're not buying a whole bunch of meat, it's hard to.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think if you go to Joel's, that's one thing, but I think that's where everyone goes, as opposed to just a regular old butcher shop. They might be able to give you something akin. I've never tried. Depends on what you'd like to do. There ain't many kosher butcher shops here in Pinellas County.
The Publix over in Boot Ranch
Yeah?
give bones.
Ah,
You have to ask them when they're coming in because when they cut, when they're gone, they're gone.
yeah.
They get them in specifically for that and give them. They don't sell them, they give them.
Has anyone been to a vegan Seder? You know, no shank bone on the plate. They do a roasted, and vegetarians do a roasted beet, usually a beetroot kind of thing instead. Favorite symbol that you have seen on a Seder plate that is not one of the traditional objects in a Seder plate, and you can't say the orange, because that is too easy. Thank you. You're the rule breaker and a troublemaker, you know. And I was saying if anyone ever put anything on their Seder plate that's different than the normal, the traditional things, and I was joking saying you can't say the orange, that's the easy one that everyone says. Yeah, we don't really do it at home. Yeah, I'm saying it's something that we've really done in the house in the same way. Yeah, there's a scallion tradition. I haven't seen it on the Seder plate per se, but yeah, you sort of whip each other with the scallions, and you march around the table beating each other with scallions. Yeah, to represent like the slavery in Egypt. It's a little much for my taste. That being said, to each their own. It also keeps the kids entertained. It keeps the kids entertained. Favorite Passover dessert? Chocolate-covered matzah? Angel pie. What is angel pie? Yeah. You see, I could do that. That sounds good. Sponge cake. Ooh. Chocolate raspberry souffle. Good for Pesach, good for everything else. That's nice. Matzah s'mores. We had a chocolate Seder here for the religious school. I gotta tell you, if you're all down for it, we should do an adult chocolate Seder. I think we'd have a good time. It was really fun. We did this back in New York, and we actually did it inside, and we laid a tarp down on the floor because it got so messy. But we had the good sense here to do it outside. It was a nice day, and so what they do, and I'm sure this is self-explanatory, but for all of the symbols of Passover, they make a chocolate equivalent, And so instead of the dipping parsley into salt water, you dip strawberries into chocolate syrup. A good day. Yeah, sour straws. Instead of the bitter herbs, the sour straws. And the Hillel sandwich was, matzah, chocolate, and the marshmallows. Kosher for Passover marshmallows. Yeah.
Is it allowed to be cornbread on Pesach?
No, because the cornbread is leavened enough. But corn itself, again, if you're eating kitniot, corn is good. Corn is okay. So I'm making the assumption it's Pesach because there's no corn syrup in it. I don't know why, and I don't really have it anymore anyway for different reasons, but I will say it was always a delight to get the Coca-Cola without the corn syrup. Yeah, the different yellow cap. Anyone remember that? I don't know if you can. When Dixie has it. Might have to make a little stop on Sunday and check that out. That would remind me of home, back in the day when I would drink such things. And I swear I can taste the difference. Yeah, I think you can taste the difference with it.
I like those marshmallow twists, and you put them in the freezer, and they go into a heat, and they're wonderful.
See, I like the kitschy. I like the chocolate Seder plates when it was like had all that. You can find that in some. It's just chocolate, but I just like the idea of it. And as being mentioned here already, like the homemade desserts, this is not my area in general terms, and it's even more not my area for Passover. But I always say it's like the Passover desserts, unless you're literally in Brooklyn or like ordering it online, from somewhere that does these things, people are amazing with those home-baked Passover goods. You would never know, or you would never think, oh, this is a downgrade from regular dessert. People can really get creative with that stuff. I will say there was one year I went on Goldbelly and I ordered the Pascaken. Has anyone seen this before? The Pascaken, it's 3 layers. Yeah, it's like a raspberry souffle on top of a chocolate torte on top of a coconut macaroon. And it was a little much. Good, but it was a little much, Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Potato flour is okay. Because again, I always tell this story, but it reminds me of literally one of the worst meals I've ever had in my life, which was Elizabeth and I were in Jerusalem, during Passover, and we were walking around, and we went to the mall, and the mall was pretty quiet. It was during Chol HaMoed Passover, but still, like, everything was sort of closed. But we were getting hungry, and there was an open Burger King for Passover. And it's Jerusalem, and so this was kosher for Passover. Like, everything has to shut down in Jerusalem. Nothing's open unless it's KP. So they had a KP Burger King that was open, and we were hungry and said, oh, what the heck, let's see what happens. It was not a good time because we ordered like a hamburger, and it came with that potato, like this potato bun that was like eaten through cardboard and whatever. It was like so flavorless and just. So recommendation, don't do that. Kosher Passover stuff can be awesome, but not at Burger King in the middle of the mall. That's not a winning play. So Passover, obviously, I'm talking about it's one of my favorite holidays. I love everything really about it. I like to cook, so I get to cook for the holiday and prepare things. But I think just as a parent and as a teacher, by my nature, the holiday speaks to me because it's a very educational holiday. It means the telling. The Haggadah is the telling. We tell the story. We explain the symbols and how they relate to us and relate to our world. And it's I think, the ritual really asks us to put ourselves in the shoes of the ancient Israelites and says, okay, well, we, Avadim Hayinu, we were slaves. Not we, our people, but we ourselves were slaves in Egypt, and now that we're free. And that journey from slavery to redemption, it's really a beautiful narrative, which is why it's been used and sort of, I don't say co-opted has a negative connotation, but it has inspired, other freedom movements, resistance movements, that have looked to the story of Passover for inspiration. And so I think it's such a blessing to be able to celebrate it with family and friends. And I'm really happy we get to have our second night Seder here at the synagogue. And if everyone has a really joyous and Zisun Pesach and has a really meaningful experience. Because again, I think it's a fun holiday in some ways, but it really is one that I think requires some thought and some being sort of contemplative and reflect a little bit on really the meaning of the holiday every year. Because Passover 2022 is actually different than Passover 2023. We have different things on our mind. The story is sort of the same, but it means to us can be different. And that's why I sort of whispered to Sandy that because she had asked earlier, but I said this year, actually, I want the orange on the Seder plate this year for a number of reasons.
There's a social justice Haggadah
Yes.
that is really good.
Yes.
And it's very, very topical.
Very topical. And
It's very good.
because I saw something today, I didn't get a chance to read the article, I have to look at it later, but there was something about ice cubes on the Seder plate this year. And I haven't seen what that is relating to just yet, but I'll check it out. But I do think, again, it's a time to really reflect on our own personal redemption story, whatever that means for us. What has bound us, what has sort of made us feel small in narrow places, confined, constricted, and how have we shaken that off? Have we shaken that off and maybe moved to a better place of personal redemption, personal freedom? And then, of course, the Jewish story, our story as a people, the ongoing struggles as a people, both relating to anti-Semitism and how that continues to plague us, and the situation even in Israel, and what does freedom mean, what does responsible freedom mean, what does that look like for the state of Israel, and again, just from a global perspective, who is still enslaved, whether it's physical, whether it's economic, whether it's due to oppression, whatever it might be, who is still oppressed, and how can we help redemption for those who are still in bondage. And so I hope that we all sort of take time. I gave a few different questions, maybe not 4, but a few different questions to think about as we head to this really sacred season. So Shabbat Shalom and early Chag Sameach. Yeah. I don't know enough about it other than this is Bob Kraft's thing, the owner of the Patriots. He started this movement of the Blue Square, which is anti-Jew hatred, which to me, it's like you have to figure out how to say that correctly because anti-Jew hatred sounds bad. It's anti-Jew hatred. So it's where you enunciate the syllables there. Yeah, it's anti-Semitism, which actually is better to my ear for whatever reason. I saw someone wearing one. They're going to be for sale. I think you can buy them. They're like blue pins. And I think they're going to add it, if they haven't already, to like the Apple emoji thing. And it's like a way to have solidarity. I think there's going to be more to it as it comes out. But I just think that it's one of those, it's getting some like national attention and a recognition, I hope, that this is not only for Jewish people to wear. Like this is going to be something like for everyone to wear, to show that they are opposed to, anti-Semitism and Jew hatred. And so that's something, again, I think obviously, the timing of it being released during Passover, again, part of that redemption narrative, like how can we be free of the things that plague us, and particularly, anti-Semitism is one of them. So yeah, so it's, I still have to learn more about it, but I think that it could be something very powerful, hopefully, and inspiring. Hopefully, yeah. That's a. Yes, Ramadan just started last week. Yeah, we have a real holy season coming up. We got Ramadan going on. We have Passover. We have, the Easter holiday coming up for our Christian fellows. There's a reason they're all together in springtime. Well, not Ramadan, to be fair. Ramadan, that's more random. But yes, the springtime holidays. On page 586, let's rise together for Aleinu.
Shalom.
There we are. Let's please take our seats. We're on page 597. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. We think of those who passed away during this last year: Mary John Resch, Liesel Schick, Linda Laban Slavinsky, Jay Roth, Fran Brickman, John Conway, Michael Vereb, Janice Lederer, Bernice Lippman, Eric Adler, Ezra Bobo, Richard Corwin, Dr. Sonia Linke, and Barbara Finkel. We're observing the yurtzeit this week for Mary Ellen Adamson, Diana Linder Arnold, Herbert Budd, Rose Cohen, Herb Dennenberg, Ella Einhorn, Stephen Glass, Irving Gold, Rebecca Goodman, Menachem Mendel Granoff, Barbara K. Jacumin, Ben Kalika, Ann Taub Kamelhar, Seema Kentov, Charles Corin, Gabriel Lieb, Gloria Levine, Rose Levine, Lillian Love, Anna Norwick, Hyman Nussman, Esther Pollack, Claire Rose, Arthur Ruttenberg, Kay Sanders, Joseph Schaefer, Harris Schumann, Ray Schuster, Gertrude Schwartz, Erwin Schwartzberg, Annie Siegel, Herbert Silverstein, Joan Sorakers, Frank Stark, Morris Steinberg, Martin Stern, Roberta Helen Swerdlow, Lunny B. Wallach, Gussie Weinstein, Douglas L. Weiss, Margot Werner, and Emily Wolfson. Is anyone else observing a yurtzeit saying Kaddish for any reason? Let's rise together, page 598, Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash Shemei Rabbah, B'yalma divra cherutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, Ba'agala uv'zman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mivarach le'olam olamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudisha barichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechemata da amiran b'yalma v'imru amen. Yehei shloma rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav Huya Aseh Shalom, Aleinu v'al Kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to Israel, and all over the world. As together we say Amen.
Amen.
Please be seated. To you too. We're now going to call to come forward one of our temple co-presidents, Sandy Sunter.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody here in our sanctuary. Shabbat Shalom to everyone at home. While we were saying the Kaddish tonight, I had like this flashback. I grew up in a conservative synagogue, and I don't know for anybody else who did, but all I can remember is children did not stand. And I can remember not understanding why, and all I can remember is my mother, I'd stand by everybody, and she would push me down. She was superstitious too, so I never understood, and then I didn't understand why children didn't do it. But I was just back in Cleveland at that today. So, well, first of all, thank you, Rabbi, and thank you, Heather, tonight, and thank you, Pete, for getting us online tonight. And welcome those of you who are familiar. Welcome to somebody new today. Welcome to Temple B'nai Israel. We do have lots going on. Now, in the back of the supplement, there are some of the things that you can read for yourself, but I think there's a couple ones. Don't forget, next week we do have our second night Seder on the 6th. You're still able to sign up for that. We will be here at 5 o'clock, and we will have all of the trimmings and the good, and we'll have our own Haggadah. So it will be a lovely evening, so please go online, call in, because it's getting close to the time for I have to get to the caterer, but please do, come on over. Tomorrow night is our poker night, and you're certainly welcome to come. We still are going to be open at 6 o'clock, and the first shuffle will be at 6:45, and we will be having, I'm sure the Brotherhood is going to make some delicious food, and it'll be interesting to see who the poker players are tomorrow night. Let's see. Our Mitzvah Day. Oh, our Mitzvah Day is coming up on April the 16th. Oh, my goodness. Please go online and sign up for our Mitzvah Day. We have all kinds of different projects this year. We really are looking for everybody to sign up and participate. Bless you. We have everything from making blankets and bracelets to walking outside and cleaning up our streets, cooking for our firemen. So please go online tonight. And we need some people to volunteer for it. We are looking for volunteers this year. Peanut butter and jelly is back. So anybody who's into the peanut butter and jelly, we'll be making lots of that. And we also need more donations of peanut butter, jelly, and bread. Just a couple other quickie things. First of all, if anybody's interested in being a volunteer in the office, we are looking for volunteers in the office. There was something in our bulletin. So please, if anyone is interested, please call in, talk to Tina. If Wendy Capelin is here, talk with Wendy. But we could use some extra help in the office to help each other out right now. Also, April the 24th, that's a Monday. This is, it's called Love is Love. And it says, are you looking for more resources on how to be a better ally and advocate for the LGBTQ community? So we are going to have a speaker that day at 7 p.m. It is free. It is open to the community. It is in partnership with Keshet. Please come. It's it's information. Help us understand about our LGBTQ partners in our community. You can go ahead and RSVP on the website. And I think the other one is just our Yom Ha'atzmaut. We're going to have on April the 26th, we're going to celebrate Yom Ha'atzmaut here at Temple B'nai Israel at 6:30. It celebrates Israel's independence, and it's going to have things about our culture and dance and music and all those kinds of things. Again, please go online and look at your e-blast to find out all that's going on here at Temple B'nai Israel. And one thing, I always like to share a word or two. So tonight, seeing that it is poker, the discipline, work ethic, and character you develop as a poker player can be applied in any other area in your life. Learn to play poker, learn to win at life. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Sandy. It's an allergy cough, if we're wondering. Yeah, you can't shake it. A little dusty in this sanctuary, perhaps. I don't know, but it's an allergy cough. So he's not having a good time with it, but he's got a little smile and a hacking cough. So that's a lot of fun. He handles it better than I would. I wanted to have a special thank you to Heather for being here with us this evening, leading services. She's been doing a lot of baking for tomorrow night, and so she took a little break from cheesecakes and whatnot, right, to come up here?
It's a cookie night.
It's a cookie night.
It's finger foods. You're playing cards. You need finger foods.
This is true. I can just dive in face first. I'm okay.
Yeah, we're not gonna do that.
Not gonna do that. So that's I really appreciate that. Tomorrow night I actually have a wedding, and so I'm going to be maybe a little late for poker night. But if I will try to get there and to enjoy some good cards. But I have a congregational wedding, so that'll be nice. Anything else? I feel like I'm forgetting something, and I don't know what it is. I don't know. A lot of good stuff going on in the community.
Check your e-blast.
Keep checking that e-blast. A lot of great April celebrations. And let's conclude with Bless This House.
This is an oldie. I don't know if all of you know it. I sang it when I was in junior choir back at Temple Bethel in Hammond, Indiana.
The 70s?
I'm not that old. That's mean.
Little mean.
It was the 80s. So if you know it, sing along. If not, I just feel it's very, the meaning behind it is just very sweet, especially as we've had so much going on over these past few weeks. And it's just a song of good cheer and love. So
I like good cheer and love. That sounds good to me.
Bless this house, for we are all together. Bless us all until we meet again. Think of all the happiness we found here. Take it home and share it with a friend. Come along, sing a song, and we'll never say goodbye. And we'll see and agree, love and friendship never die. Bless this house, for we are all together. Bless us all until we meet again.
That was lovely. That's very nice.
Just a hokey little happy
That's
song.
cute. That's a cute song.
It was junior choir.
Let's do a little motzi. We rise together. Of course, it's good the hacking puff comes up first.
Ha-motzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Thank you, God. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, ha-motzi lechem min haaretz, b'tei avon.
And we have our Oneg is in the APR tonight.
APR peeps.
APR peeps.